you are gonna see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, you don't want two Flavor Flays.
Heart transplants, brain surgeries. I've seen it all.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
Walk up and just get it, whatever it is.
Yeah, brother.
I'm trying not to laugh, bro, but Josh is fucking killing me.
Guess what Navy SEALs do, motherfucker? They communicate and they're on the same fucking page.
Whoa. Also, I scored.
We're live.
All right. Well,
Boom.
Enough shooting the shit. Happy Hoodlums are back at it again. It's your host, Kemper Woodruff, and we got the other hosts in the house because ain't nobody bigger than Zachary Sampson himself, the Meat Fortress, and we got the baby hoodlum, Mr. Josh Taylor. You guys, I want to start this podcast with a very serious note. Life is fucking delightful. Okay? It's delightful. And
I'm
that's
glad
really
that
just
you're in
all.
a good place right now.
Yeah, man, it's amazing the transformation that can happen very rapidly, when you start working with it. And I swear there's like a level of dedication and like seeking and surrender to like the allowance, that just game changer. You know what I mean? When you start working with the process rather than like feeling like you have to figure out the how and the when and the who, you just throw all that shit out and you just focus on the why and just catering to that feeling so good that you can be a better man or woman for whoever, you are. And for all the people around you, bro. And I've been really just digging on abundance, and these audiobooks been like game changers for me. Because I was in my bed, bro. So laying down, staring at the ceiling, like today's the first day that I've been able to actually get up. And I wasn't able to stay on my feet all day long, So that was, but I've made a huge amount of headway compared to where I was in the past week. And I'm stoked on that shit.
You know what's crazy is you talk about like the whole why thing, and that was like the first thing that we got taught in film school was you don't always need to have like you don't always need to like follow the rules as long as you have a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's like you don't always need to like go by the book and do the same shit over and over and over. Just fucking have a good reason why and go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's why I love film school. You got to do like whatever. Like I always have like I've had a creative mind, but I've always sucked at art. And so I've always hated drawing. And I'm so glad I found film because it's like my way to be creative, but not suck at art,
We all contribute different ways. I'm sure if you actually like studied art, literally what happens is like you start to even this is one of the things that I started digging on is like life is kind of like a science, right? It's like a science project. And once you get scientific with your shit and just take everything as like data, like not be judgmental or personable or like personal about it, but just look at it and then be like, all right, if I'm fearful about something, right? It's that unknown aspect of it that's preventing me from wanting to interact and express myself in that way, And so educating yourself is kind of like an easy first step to get knowledge that'll build you enough confidence. It's like stepping into a class without having to go, right? I don't have to go to art class yet. I can go and buy a book and see what people are looking for. What made a Picasso good? And then go see someone explaining what made all these different artists good and be like, all right, well, what's my take on that? And know that at first it might be radically different looking, But if you look at someone like Jean-Michel Basquiat, bro, his shit looks kind of like scribbles. Basquiat.
Yeah, no one knows who that is.
Yeah.
Dude. Hold on. Time for some screen share. Yeah, you guys go ahead and talk.
Fuck.
Oh,
Okay,
you're
well,
pulling up the screen share.
I'm gonna make a relatable scenario on
Oh.
what you're talking about, Kemp. Um, because I didn't start working out by going to a gym at first. I didn't take any weightlifting classes. I didn't do any of that. What I did was I had, what I had at home. And for probably about 6 months, close to a year, I worked out strictly just at home. And I watched YouTube videos, followed people on Instagram, and learned. And so
Mhm.
by the time I literally stepped foot into a gym, all I had to figure out was how to adjust the machines. I knew everything else after that. That was it. And I was off. I was going. I didn't have that weird transition period and the anxiety going into a gym because I had taken the time to like learn about all this shit. It it made it I didn't have any anxiety my first time in a gym.
You know, I also props, bro. That's being fucking resourceful. But what I've learned, and you're a great example of this in my life. So I have to just stop and give you a salute. There is a portion of my life, the dominant portion of my life, where I wanted above average results, putting in less than average work ethic, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that Jim Rohn says. And he's like, that's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world is constantly wanting to be paid more while you keep yourself at a lesser value. And he
Yeah.
was like, if you ever want to be free, you need to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, you know? And so I started looking at this whole like sciencey thing. And that's really what my recovery of my body taught me because as I started exercising and stuff, I realized it's not one dimensional. You start doing this, and then it's like, all right, now I need to get sciencey about fucking nutrition. Now I'm over
Yeah.
here looking up nutrition stuff, and it's just every aspect of your day becomes, do I want to learn about this? Do I want to become that? Okay, I need to become conscious of that. I need to download that consciousness into my mind and become more aware about it, you know? And so every decision that you make is an investment. That's the difference between someone who's a profitable person and someone who isn't. Every single thing that you do, every time that you look at a drink, right? This is now, once you get health conscious, this is an investment. No different than your money, man.
Facts.
And it's
And
really,
even if you go more like health conscious and you start using things like supplements where it's not as cheap as water, and it's something like protein powder that can be $60 a container, or creatine that's $20 a container, or amino acids that can be $50 a container. At some point you're investing hundreds of dollars into these supplements to help your performance and your health and your body function better.
and it
And
comes, oh,
yeah,
sorry, go on.
no, that was pretty much it.
I was going to say, it comes back to this point of why are we doing it? What is the true richness of life that people want, right? And it's an inner abundant feeling. It's an inner richness. It's a quality state of being. And so you may get it from that, right? But dig, when you have more use, right? More plans, more purpose, and it's positive, it's going to make you better. It will also in turn uplift everyone else that you come in contact with, right? It changes the way you interact within this whole entire universe of creation, bro. And
Yeah.
so as long as you have those plans and you keep that feeling alive and nourish that feeling, that's why I think the gym and your body is such a foundational good way to start. If you're not someone that is willing to believe right out the gate, you know? Don't go to the philosophy shit right away if you're someone that's still stuck on this, even though it's totally my jam and what I would suggest you fucking just start. Believing is a choice. You have to believe before that fucking sign even comes to affirm it, right? But if you can't do that, get your ass in the gym and you'll start learning it from the ground up in a backwards way. Because everything around us, this fucking painting or thing, whatever the fuck it is, and the paintings in the background, wherever they are, dude, all that came out of someone's mind. It was in their mind first, in the ethereal realm. They went out, a song that you love, whatever it is, radios, anything in your room. It was in someone's fucking mind, and it came through their imagination, through their hands into their reality because they were dedicated to that thought making them feel good. You know?
Or
And
they were randomly inspired by a off the wall thought that they committed to because they were like,
because it made them
"Whoa, this
feel
is an
good.
amazing thought." Yeah.
It made them feel good. And so if you
Yeah.
go back to that base level of what is rich, right? And leave money out of it. Leave time out of it. All that shit is irrelevant. How I feel right now is my state of riches.
Your success,
Yeah,
your
you
wealth.
know?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of made me I was listening to this book called The Science of Getting Rich. It was written in like 1910. Phenomenal book. I'm digging on the early 1900s shit lately. But this dude was talking about being rich financially is the most virtuous state that anyone can aspire to. But in order to get it, you have to learn this concept of where riches come from. Inner abundance, that feeling state, and your imaginative power, and focusing on what is gonna your end goal and keeping that feeling of it alive in you right now as you're going towards it, right? So when you have a use for something, um, you require more resources. And why you're more valuable is like, say I'm the strongest worker in the land, right? Best dude on the fucking job site. Yeah, but your mind is suffering because you're constantly focusing on working so hard. Your family is suffering, and in turn, your sole purpose, because chances are your body's getting more beat up. You're tired when you get home. You don't have the same amount of quality time with your family, that you would if you had a more balanced life. You can be Bill Gates level smart, right? But if you're a little underdeveloped nerd in your body, you know in your soul that my health is not A1, which is going to hurt my confidence. And I know I didn't get the mate that I truly deserve if I was at my ultimate peak, right? So it doesn't matter how much money you have and if you're super developed in your mind. The truest state of riches is a balanced progression forward with that inner richness right now, knowing that that's inevitable. Time's just going to reveal that. It's already done because I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And I know I can do it as long as I feel this good because I can function optimally. I can function in my realm of belief. I live in a state of inner knowing that I'm getting everything that I want out of life. And it's only going to get better. Doesn't matter how much my best is right now, it's going to get better, you know? And you become more valuable. And this is where the virtue comes in for everybody. If I'm that profitable, right? And I think that sound, all those virtues of righteousness are up here. I'm going to pay somebody who works for me, that guy that might have just been the dude at the job site. I'm going to pay him so fucking good and not only feed him in like monetary senses, I'm going to feed his fucking soul, his inspiration. So that dude has enough like wherewithal, if he's smart, to go back home feeling encouraged, cherish his family. He doesn't have to get to, building skyscrapers like Bill Gates, or, fucking whatever level of success you want to hold Elon Musk up at the top to feel that level of satisfaction, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can go on because I've been ranting a little bit.
Josh.
I don't know. I want to talk movies.
Hit it then.
There any
Okay.
good movies coming out? Oh, there is a good movie coming out.
You looking for date night?
Looking for date night? What?
Yeah, looking for a movie for date night or something?
No, maybe.
Well, fuck
Don't
me,
be a
man.
fucking wiener. Just say, yeah, I'm looking for a movie for date night.
Yeah, I am.
You're being a wiener about it. Fuck.
Nah, there's this movie. It's I think it's called Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's supposed to be fucking awesome.
Apparently, yeah.
Have you
Apparently,
seen the
it's pretty
trailer,
good.
Kemper?
Yeah, it's based on a true story for real. My brother told me about
Yeah.
that like years ago.
The
No
strongest apex
way.
predator for about 5 minutes. Yeah, this
Mhm.
bear legit found us a stash of cocaine, like 35 pounds of cocaine, ate it all, was the strongest apex predator on the planet Earth for like 5 minutes before it died.
Yeah,
Dude, what?
it's a
Yeah,
true story, bro.
it's a true story.
See, this is what I mean.
My back.
That's a true story?
Yeah, it's a true story, bro.
Bro, what is going on?
There's
Yeah.
actually another movie that I want that's coming out that I want to see. It's Burt Kreischer's movie, The Machine. And
The
that's
what?
gonna
Oh,
be fucking phenomenal, I think. That's gonna be
dude,
good. The trailer was fucking great. And his special on Netflix, by the way, Razzle Dazzle is brand new. Fucking had me dying laughing by myself in my bedroom. I was like, holy shit, this is one of the best stand-up specials I've watched in a fucking hot minute.
I have to go watch that. I
You
have to
have
say,
to.
shout
Fucking
out to
phenomenal.
Burt Kreischer because he's a man of the people. Like I went with Big Cat to go see him, and that was
Yeah.
so dope because I think that was when he was working on Secret Time, the routine
Okay.
for his time special,
Yeah.
and he was killing it. Like just absolutely killing it. And he was like, "Yeah, when I'm done, I'm going across the street to the bar. You guys can come kick it if you
Yeah.
want." And I
He
was
does
like,
that shit. It's fucking dope.
that's inspiration. That's the kind of person that lives that fulfilled, rich ass fucking life. You know,
Yeah.
just so cool. And
But yeah,
yeah,
I highly recommend his special to anybody who likes watching stand-up comedy.
mhm.
Absolutely fucking hilarious.
I
It
think
blows my mind.
he's putting on a huge show somewhere too. That's got a ton of acts. It's like a comedy festival, and I think that's so
Really?
dope. Yeah, bro.
I
Like
didn't know
Tiffany
that.
Haddish is gonna be on it. Lewis Black. Um, a ton of people. I gotta look it up real quick though,
I'm trying
just
to
so
find
you
one.
gentlemen can get a little bit of culture on. Let me see if I can figure out this sharing the screen thing.
It looks like a screen with an arrow in it. There you go.
All right,
Josh.
we got it.
Ooh,
Check this shit out.
Josh, get
Matt.
off your phone for a second.
I know.
This is Jean-Michel
Man,
Basquiat.
okay.
All right, you haven't seen it? Super duper famous. I know he's done like or Coach has done some different things with them. It was in I think one of these paintings was in oh god dang it. What's that show? Luke Cage.
Okay.
Luke Cage.
The yeah, the
I
Marvel
haven't
show.
seen
Yeah.
too much Luke Cage, and
Oh, dude, it was so good. I
Mm.
highly recommend it. But
Luke
yeah, in
Cage
it,
was really good.
this is him with Andy Warhol, another legend. But he wound up like committing suicide, I believe. If I'm correct.
Okay.
And so he's a huge proponent of like kind of mental health, and he came on as a very like counterculture artist. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
what he was doing was like initially like tagging or if it was all just painting and stuff, but this was like I believe back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And if you look at his artwork, right, all his stuff is beautiful, but something like this in the beginning might be something that someone would knock themselves for creating, right? They'd be like, "Oh man, that's kind of like basic." But he just took a pretty basic thing and just made it so unique and epic.
Yeah.
And there's a quote from Andy Warhol, and he was like, "Just make art." And while people are like judging it, just make more fucking art. And it's pretty awesome that philosophy on life and like how liberating that's got to be for people.
Just do your shit, dude. Honestly.
talking about inspiration though.
Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, okay, go on.
I want to talk
No,
about
hit
one
it.
more. I want to talk about another comedian. Dude, his name's Matt Rife.
I can't say I've heard of him.
You've never. Okay. He
Where'd you discover him?
he used to be on. Have you heard of the show Wild and Out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. He's been on there before, but now he's kind of sprouted, and now he kind of has his own fan base. So,
Mm-hmm.
but dude. He has a special called OnlyFans. It is the funniest stand-up special I've ever seen in my life. Me and Zack are
Okay.
watching it. After this podcast, me and Zack are watching it.
That's high praise right there, bro.
I like how you voluntold me that I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And left me out by default because he knew.
Yeah, just left Kemper out. You left him out live on stream, you fucking asshole. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, I'm gonna keep the stream
like
going.
to his face, you left him out. You left him out to his face.
All right.
You didn't hurt my feelings. I actually really want to go cook these tacos, bro.
I'm gonna act like I'm ending the stream and not end it, and they're gonna see how fast Kemper leaves without me getting a chance to say something.
Kemper does dip out of here pretty quick. He doesn't give no time for goodbyes. He's like, bro.
He's like, bedtime. Here we go.
Okay, so I want to introduce you guys to one of the biggest freaking like inspirations in my grandfather's life.
Okay.
And I also want to send a message to you. Maybe I can send this photo in Discord of my grandfather because I've talked about how he was in the golden age of bodybuilding, and Grandpa is a huge inspiration to me. And I went back to my mom's house today just to visit her, and I was looking through some of the things that I have, and what he left me is this special edition book about John Grimmick. And John Grimmick was basically Arnold before Arnold. Okay.
Mm.
And he was an incredible friend of my grandfather's. Let me see if I can adjust the camera so it can pick it up. That is
cool.
John Grimmick. And it's an autographed photo of John Grimmick to my grandfather.
That's dope.
And, you know, I've been kind of looking at my life. I've had a lot of time to think over the past few weeks because I've basically like been in bed for like 2 weeks. And my mind, you got to stay occupied, but I was definitely running inventory on a lot of different things, on emotional impacts. And I posted something on Instagram about the concept of repentance and that we kind of get it all wrong when we think about it in a condemning way. And that, like, by definition, it's to change your mind. And I had a lot of time to work with like visualization stuff because I'm just looking at my ceiling and stuff. And when I when I was running inventory on my life, I figured it's kind of like Russian dolls, right? You go back to these situations that come up, right? And you just visualize it the way that you wanted it to go. Look at it in black and white, like this is what really happened. This is how I felt about it at that time. And knowing what I know now, this is what I would do different. And once you get through that like initial memory, another one will pop up. And another one will pop up. And another one will pop up. But it's a great way to relieve yourself of any like inner baggage and emotional burdens you have. And free yourself from a situation that keeps coming up again and again and again, right? Because your consciousness isn't bound by time, you know?
Mhm.
And so if this experience made such an impression on you and your self-image, that you need to, it's still in the forefront of your awareness. You need to figure out how to cleanse that, you know, in order to be able to progress out of that time period. And so I was just looking at a lot of things in my life, and I, on the other side of that, became really grateful, you know, um, for the experiences I've had. And I was just like, man, my grandpa was such an inspiration to me. And the fact that like I came from him was just like, it blows my mind because I've been on health consciousness and I just feel very influenced by him and his spirit still with me and watching out for me. And then I came back home because I got a lot of cousins, bro. I'm Italian. I got a lot of cousins. So for me to wind up with this stuff, like, I think I read, let me see, I still got it in here. Another friend of his uh, that was Mr. America and Mr. Universe, Paul Eiferman. I think I read this on the podcast once about his like 10 daily exercises and stuff.
Mhm.
And if you guys want, I'll read them again, but I want to send this picture of my grandpa and just pull my grandpa up and be like, where you've been really fucking matters, whether it was a good situation or a bad situation. Because when the time period that I went back to New York was right after my best friend was murdered, you know? And I was really in a bad place, gonna do some bad things. In my life, if God wasn't watching out for me and really leading me through my spirit, because I didn't feel him. I hadn't had a Holy Ghost encounter at that point. I never went to church at that point, had that like euphoric feeling. I felt like a fish out of fucking water, bro. You know? And I just want to put that on Front Street because I know I talk a lot about God and religion and philosophy. And for anyone that hasn't had that visceral experience in your spirit, you know, in a way that's tangible to you. So it's not just outer faith, it's not knowing that it exists from the outside, it's being it, it's becoming it, you know, and it just takes over you and in such a way that it's something outside of you that now lives inside of you and you realize you're one with it and it's bigger than you, but you're so loved that you got to be a part of it, you know, an extension of that consciousness to express itself freely, you know. And so I probably would have been in prison or Lord knows where else, you know, really fucked up. Um, if I didn't have that inner sense of peace and strength. So when my grandpa um came into my life at that point, I was spending like each day with him for about a month and a half, because I moved out there at like 19. Thankfully, the Lightfoot family, my pops, we're gonna have them on here pretty soon. Mike Lightfoot and his sister Donna Lightfoot. Donna was living in New York, working at the Nyack Library. She got me a job there, so I knew my job was good, but I had to find a place to live because my cousins had just had a baby. They were gonna move into the house. I had to go somewhere, right? And this is a kid at 19, full of anger and survival in a state where yet again I was wondering what a good man is, you know, how to be a man, how to be a good person, you know. And my grandfather stepped in, and this was when he had dementia. He had actually fallen out of bed and he had an internal brain bleed. So I had about like a month and a half of him literally living with his brain bleeding and increasing his dementia like crazy, you know. So he's kind of losing it and imparting all these lessons on me, you know, just by being who he was. When he would walk into a store, everyone knew his name. Hi, Frank. He'd be like, hey, how's it going today? And he'd be busting people's balls and stuff. He'd be like, hey, you know, just here, get the papers. And like the way that he handled people was so genuine that I was like, I come from that. And at the time I was like, how the fuck do I be that? You know? I can't even wrap my head around it. So you guys can kind of go over that. I'm gonna pull up some pictures of my grandfather.
Zack?
I don't know what to add to that, bro. Like, that's a lot of shit that we would have to fucking. I
Well,
don't know. I don't know how to add to that.
you made me add on last time. Your turn. Come
I
on.
just told you. I don't know how to add on to that. It's. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that we can learn from
From Frank.
watching the people that are around us, and everybody. You can learn something small from anyone that you interact with. And if you're willing to like pay attention to people, you can learn anything, I guess. And even when you're angry at the world or scared or afraid or anxious, fearful of losing somebody, you fucked up, maybe you did something wrong, you can learn something from it. And as long as you're willing to learn, you'll never actually lose at life. But at
You
first, you have
guys
to
have
be willing to accept the fact that you need to learn, or that you did something wrong, or that you need, or that you're sad, or that you're anxious, or that you're afraid of something. And if you can't accept those things, then you're gonna freeze up. You're gonna stand still. You're not gonna move forward.
Do you have any moments in your life where someone was like highly impressionable on you? Um, that really stood out and helped you become a man? Also, I'm sending these over through Discord to you, Zach.
Send them to Josh. I think
Uh,
because, or I can pull them up. Fuck it.
Hey,
trying to kick down the line. Huh?
yeah, send them to Zack, and then Zack, can you screen share them?
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna do that at all.
Oh, okay. I'm just
Anyways,
making sure
but
because I thought I was getting something.
I okay. You got something? You want to keep talking?
Sorry.
Like, you gonna talk over me about something that we were moving
Sorry,
on
dude.
from? Fuck, dude. Now I lost my thought.
Well, I was just asking if there was anyone that made a great impression on you while you were becoming a man and maturing in yourself.
Let's see.
But yeah, these are my grandparents. My grandma's in there too. So this is Frank
Bro, you
Ficara
want
and
me to show
Marianne.
all of these?
Yeah, just pull them
Okay.
up. Why not?
Making this complicated. All right.
Dude, okay, my grandpa's such a fucking stud that he's raised so many people, like all my mom's friends and stuff. And like basically they would say, my grandma would be like, yeah, but you know, I was a hottie too back in the day, you know? And he was like, because he was always there's pictures of him sitting on people's desk like this. You see what I'm saying? That's
Oh man.
original bodybuilder stuff. And that's him when he's probably in his 70s. But he grew up in the Great Depression era, and so at that time, bodybuilding was really like countercultural and looked down upon. People were like, "Why aren't you out there working? You know, you're just out here lifting weights like a bunch of gorillas and shit." And he was way ahead of his time with this. Uh, and these guys really helped shape where culture is today. You know, there's a couple more coming. And to be like a part of someone that's that legendary, like it really matters. And I think in our culture, we don't give enough praise for like lineage and where we actually come from. Um, and things get missed that way. Because if we don't talk up generationally, we lose a lot of the greatest things to history that, it's completely unnecessary to do so, because I think when we're young, we're so fresh in our mind that we're just like taking in life. Like, look at that. I've never seen a more like beautiful couple in a wedding photo. Like, that is just astounding to me. Super classic. Even though my grandma had like boy cut bangs, you don't even think about it. That's him when he was like 16, 17 years old. The one above it is like, people were not shredded like my grandpa, like this level shredded. That shit is ridiculous. And there's a loincloth on. You might not be able to see it. I don't know. But he's not balls out on there.
Fuck.
But to be able to just be close to him like that at that time made such a huge impact on me. And I was writing a piece about growing up. And, I think a lot of shit happened to me just a little young. So like when I was like 3.5, I think, was when my mom and dad got divorced, and since my dad's death, I kind of been just looking at my life in retrospect and running inventory again. Impactful sudden death kind of situations really make you do that. And so I was like, when I was 3 and my dad was just gone all of a sudden, because my earliest memories, like I can remember back to when I was 2. Like my favorite memory is Christmas. That's why I'm a Christmas fool to this day. I love Christmas, everything about it. And they made that shit so special for me. Even like we were broke, so we would have to go like walking in the forest and stuff and collect twigs and shit like that so we could use the wood stove in our house to heat things. But they would go out and find all these little knickknacks and wrap everything individually, so it was like this grand thing. They would take our dog hubcap and take his paw and dip it in like ashes from the fireplace and write a letter from Santa and make it look like reindeer feet. And my dad would eat cookies and shit. Like, so that's like, we went from that to like really my dad experiencing a physical and kind of like mental episode breakdown. And then he was just gone, after a lot of wild shit in our house taking place. And when you're that young, you understand things more by feeling than anything else. The logic isn't there. You don't have enough context, but it's like I saw the need for a man, in a family. And when that's taken out of your life and you just have like a taste of it and all you're kind of going on is just observation and feeling, I saw how it impacted my mom and my brother so heavily that it was like, this is why I became super codependent. And it really made me ask one thing, why? And it was really, why God is kind of what I meant. I knew this was an outside force other than me, that shit happened. And it made me also simultaneously seek like fatherhood and mentorship, right? And simultaneously, it made me like grow up in my head, like instantly. Before I ever knew what a man was, I just knew I had to be it. Before I ever knew what dad was, I was like, I need to be dad, right? And I took that shit upon myself and lived my whole life. And it wasn't until literally just the other day that I had this epiphany, bro. And it was this beautiful moment where I was like, bro, I'm not just because I was taking care of everybody in my life. I would do the most for them, make sure they're fucking thriving. And I would just barely survive. I was just okay with doing bare minimum for me, and expecting all these grand results, or giving love and not understanding why people can't see. I'm really asking for the very thing that I'm giving you. And I hope that you just turn around and see it, right? And so many people fall into this fucking trap, you know? And I was looking and running inventory on my life. I was like, oh shit, I'm taking care of my spirit. I'm feeding my mind. You know what I mean? Financially, I'm good. My body, I'm taking care of my body. I keep getting better. And I was like, I'm actually doing really good. Like, I don't need anyone to do anything for me anymore. Like, I may appreciate it and I really want it, but I realized I spent my whole life with a little boy inside of me crying for attention. You know what I mean? And now I realize like I'm giving that shit to myself. So when I'm on here like, yo, like this is so dope. Like, bro, there was like 20 plus years of not that shit, 20 plus years of intense study and trying to figure out how God thinks, why the fuck this shit happens, what's my role? What am I playing in this? What am I responsible for? And what do I want out of life? And not losing sight of that. And so it's like so many people go through these defeats and just give up, right? Because they just don't have the answer. But it exists and it's right inside of you, you know? And sometimes the way to debunk it is to really go through that repentance process of changing your mind about the shit that's happened to you. Rewrite your past right now, knowing what you know now. So that way you can move the fuck on. Take the lesson and forget how you fucking learned it. That's just wait. Maybe someday, if it's super impactful, it'll come up again. And you'll start to notice through this method of going memory to memory to memory, oh, there's a trend. Like, what is the trend of how I was feeling and the shit that I was thinking? And then this transpired, and did I learn? Well, clearly not, because here I am with a different person and feeling the same way, thinking the same thoughts, and something similar happened. And it probably if it wasn't a good thing, it might have got worse. If you were thinking different thoughts and you were thinking good, you're like, oh, that did a little better. And it's like you start getting data on it. You start being able to track your progress, and let go of all that past shit. And so I guess that's what I was kind of wanting to get at, because it was such a liberating realization for me. But it came through a lot of like looking at stuff that I was like, I don't know what the fuck to think about this. But now I'm like, when I think about myself, I feel fucking happy. Like for the first time in my life, like I can say like, I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think everyone deserves that. And I think there's more people who are content with their bad place or their shitty perception, or um they're content to stay where they are because they don't believe that it could get better. And where you've got it down is that you have the ability to keep pushing and the ability to continue to learn and try to fix the situation or the issue that you're having. And I think way too many people are too willing to allow themselves to get stuck or root themselves in this shitty place. And and some people may say they want to get better, but they never take the action to get better. And or never made to action to improve their life or work towards something new or fresh, or work towards that better feeling or that happiness. And I think where a lot of people should probably pay attention to the people around them, like you, is that people should be able to learn and see that just because you're in a shitty place for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, doesn't mean like you're gonna be there forever. As long as you maintain a course and a direction of constantly learning about yourself and the world around you and people, and finding something that roots you in reality, and a thing that you can build a positive and a healthy identity around, I think no matter what, you'll find someone will find their way out of the hole that they're in.
And you really nailed it right out the gate with it's belief. And I think like we all have this candle of hope inside of ourselves that won't stop lighting itself. No matter how lost and in the fucking dark you feel, it will light itself again. And people really
Yeah.
wish, like, at a certain point, you can just, all right, I got a shitty life. That is what it is. But it just keeps
That's what some
fucking,
people do.
but
That's what some people do.
it never stops going out. You can sit, like, my dad told me this shit one time. He said, we all walk towards the light or we die in the dark. It don't fucking matter if when that candle lights up, if you get half a step, if you just fall forward, you don't even really move your feet, you just trip and you're still in the dark, at least you stand up in a little bit better place. That candle's going to keep lighting, you know? And so what you do with it, and when you're in a creative state, right? When you're in that inner state of abundance I was talking about, you feel creative.
Yeah.
Believing is easy, because you have feeling response to it. And you're like, oh, okay, I know it's right to believe. Why? Because I just know. My soul told me, yeah, that's for you. My bullshit radar did not go off when I said that to myself. Right. And it takes a little bit of working on your self image and looking at that sometimes before you're willing to accept it. Sometimes if you've been in a really negative place, your bullshit meter might go off when someone does something nice for you. You'd be like, why the fuck? What's this person's angle? Right. But something in your head, even if it's like a hater voice, at first, you're like, I could do better than that shit. That's still, in some kind of way, it might be bitterness, it might be angry, but that's like fuel. It's still trying to get you to hope. You're not there yet. You're angry, but you're on the way to feeling empowered enough that you can get to hope from there. If you don't
Yeah.
go destructive with it and go back to despair and feeling helpless for yourself. You know what I mean? It's navigating this like upward emotional trajectory. Um, but when you're creative, competition fades away. You no longer are like, I need what that person has. You're like, I fuck with the fact that they got that shit. I can't wait to see what my version of that is. You know?
Yeah.
Josh, you got any comments on this? Or did we melt your brain?
Dude, you guys are saying some big words tonight.
Did trajectory
Very,
lose you?
very big brain podcast. Yeah.
Well, in your defense, bro, you're younger, you know?
Well, I was
And that's not
actually. Hold on. I did kind of. You said something a few seconds ago. Man, it was about like when other people have something you want, and then
mm-hmm.
I was gonna say like the Corvette.
Oh yeah, the Ferrari thing.
Oh, the Ferrari. My bad. Yeah,
That's okay
Ferrari.
for you. It's a Corvette,
Ferrari.
baby.
No, mine's Ooh, we'll come back.
Okay, we'll dig into it. Get vulnerable, man.
Dude, I don't
What is
know.
it
Actually,
that
yo,
shit
that's a
made
good
you do?
topic. What's everyone's what do they want to what's their dream car? Man, that was all.
Eleanor.
What?
Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh,
I think it's a
you're
Mustang
from.
Mach 3 GT 500.
Don't have one.
Come on, bro. Yeah, you do. I thought you did. What do you mean?
No. I come to the realization I don't need a dream car. It's a waste of my dreams because I'll never drive it. I'll never
Dude,
drive a
what?
car to begin with. I don't believe that that's a thing that I need to be
You can
dreaming
still
for.
buy cars. Cardi B does it.
Why would I buy a car that I can't fucking use?
I don't know. Cardi B does it.
Hold up.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Well,
fucking
this
that
one's mine,
person.
bro. I'm putting it up there. That's my shit right there.
Whoa.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful
Alright.
car for sure.
That's from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds.
Mach 3.
Alright.
Yeah. You want to talk about old school movies? Go watch that shit. Check out Angelina Jolie in fucking Gone in 60 Seconds. What? With some dreaded hair? Are you kidding me?
Are you
Pulling up
fanboying right
on you,
now?
looking crazy.
Are you
Unpopular
fanboying?
opinion.
thought we were
I don't
talking
think
about
she's
cars.
that attractive.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, that's fine.
I'm
Each
right
to
there
their
with
own.
you.
She's not my type,
Bro.
but
I'm telling you right now. Goodness gracious.
all right.
Alright, enough Angelina Jolie for you.
Crimes of passion.
You
boys.
can go watch
But no.
You can go watch Maleficent on your own time.
I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, and this is what I kind of wanted to get into, is like, we may be elder to you in some ways, Josh, right?
Oh, y'all
But
are very elder.
you have your own experiences, and I think Joe Rogan said it, and Zack has quoted it a bunch of times. But like, the hardest thing you've been through is the hardest thing you've been through, right?
Yeah.
And so it really doesn't matter because pain is pain, right? And everyone experiences it differently. There's different levels of depth and different things that it causes you to like express, you know, based on my mom told me this when I was little. She said, Kemp, is vulnerability at life's ultimate highs, and even more so, the ultimate lows that give you a greater capacity to love more. It's your superpower because you can understand where people are coming from. You know? And if you don't get in there and start looking at it and really sharing it, like, bro, living an inauthentic life, which is what a lot of people fucking do, is like, you're alive, but you're 6 feet underground in a coffin with a fucking straw, and your pain is all this dirt on top of you. It's just heavy. Every day is fucking heavy. And you're living in this hollow shell of yourself, just sending out this robotic version of you to do your daily bidding. And you're just doing fucking bare minimum. And you're scared to just show people who the fuck you are. And you're dying every day. You're suffocating. But just enough gets in there, that hope, to keep you alive. You gotta fucking get in there and just fucking let that shit out. Whatever it is that's in your way. And that's why I say that repentance is like, it's huge. And it isn't about condemnation. It's about love and embracing yourself, you know, and bigging yourself up. So that way you can be more valuable. That way you can live that rich feeling and you can give that shit to other people and tell them, look, I'm not going to fucking sympathize with you because I got another story for you. Dig this. This is what people don't want to fucking accept about helping needy people. If you give money to somebody that's needy, right? You're fucking up the system. You just robbed yourself and you just robbed other people and you robbed that person of a lesson. The truth is, like, this is why riches are an abundant thing. And in life, everyone is just reflecting the projections of what you assume about them back at you. So I got a story. There's a beggar sitting in the street, and the king and queen come walking by. This beggar's been shaking his fucking cup for years, sitting there thinking,
before
oh
you
man,
continue, your
if I could just
frozen.
if I could just
Yeah.
get to the king,
Kemper.
if I could just get
Kemp,
a little bit of
before
what
you
that motherfucker's
continue,
got,
Kemper.
you know, I want what the royal people got, right?
hey,
Royal people
Kemper,
come
your
walking down the
camera's
street, right?
frozen.
He's like, please give me some money.
Can he not hear us?
Right? And the
Kemper.
queen's on her shit. She just keeps walking. Right?
Dude.
She's an example.
No way that's real, dude. That is probably the funniest.
Can you hear us now? Dude. Shit just shit the bed, bro.
Dude.
All right, he's gonna come back. Hello?
Oh no. And
He's an RTC Connect. I bet he has to restart his laptop or close Discord and shit.
dang, dude.
Let me DM him. I'll tell him. Hold on. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. We will be back momentarily.
You are gonna see some cool. Oh fuck. Well, you got anything on your mind while we wait for Kemper? Before we get a chance to talk.
Well. Oh man, I don't know. What's going on in life, man? Oh, there's Kemper. Wow.
Let's see. All right.
There we go.
Where were we? So, beggars in the street. Queen goes walking right by. She knows her fucking worth. Right? I'm going to show these people that I am embodying royalty. King comes by, right? Beggar goes, please, can you give me $1? And he looks at him and he goes, hey, yes, I have all these things, but I'm sorry. A king can't interact with somebody like you. This just isn't right. What else would the people in the kingdom think? I give everybody chances. What just happened? By trying to give this person sympathy, he became a beggar. He lowered his standard of worth to the beggar. One's begging for money, the other one's begging back for sympathy, begging for understanding. He stripped himself of his worth. Because to do that is to say, hey, this dude is that whole give person a fish rather than teach him to be a fisherman. You got to feed this motherfucker forever. That fish is going to satisfy them for a moment, you know? And I'm someone that's given so much fucking money away to causes and to people, and I understand the value of it on like a human level. So I'm not trying to like be a dick, right? But fuck that, bro. Give that person a book. Give that person words of encouragement. You know? Like whatever they're asking for, you can give them food if they need food, if a motherfucker's starving, but it's deeper than the food, you know? Don't let it be about the food, let it be about the lesson. You know? Empowering people. And if you can't do it, like you'll know over time, wisdom will start to show you. This motherfucker ain't in a place to listen. They're not willing to listen. They're not in a place to hear it. So you can say it, but you're wasting your fucking time and you're robbing everybody else too. In that way, a lot of charities, they really affect people's lives in good ways, but they also put more emphasis and attention on the problem than the cure. It's about the cure. The focus is on the abundant state, the rich feeling, you know? Like giving people opportunity. And if they're not willing to take it, wish them well, thank them for the wisdom of your interaction, still invest in them, you know? Even if it's like, hey, here's a penny for good luck. Like I said, seed money, plant your seed. But if they can't come up, you got to keep going. You know, be the example of what you're talking about. If that person can't level with you for a second and they just want what you got, fucking peace. I'm gonna show you need to work harder because you're not broken. I know you're whole. I know you're abundant. I know that someone might not have told you your thoughts are valuable, but I'm gonna show you your thoughts are valuable. You
Yeah.
think you're less than, then that's what you get treated as because you assume that about yourself. That's your state of awareness. And that's the power of self image. You know, there's no reason why you can't be this buff. No fucking reason.
I could name something, but
You know what I mean? Like there's things that are real, but I'm telling you, like there's mental and spiritual power and consciousness, you know, that really comes into like you accept that you're not gonna be that, and that's why you'll never be that. Your final form might not look the same as that, but it'll feel that good. You know, and if you can really conceive it and you can accept it in here, you can figure out a way to do it.
yeah.
You know, everybody in history, if you, that's why I'm digging these early 1900 teachers, is like they'll tell you, you know, the Wright brothers were called crazy. The dude that invented the radio, right? His own friends, I can't remember what his name was, so I'm sorry, but I was reading this just today. They took him in and had him mentally assessed because they thought he was a psychopath. Because he said there's going to be ways that we can send messages through the air, and they exist right now. Now we all have cell phones, radios, TVs, airplanes. You know, think about it. Like, look at Helen Keller, bro. Look at Helen Keller. You know, there's so many people, and really something that America isn't putting enough emphasis on is history in full vibrance of color, bro. Like, there's so much real incredible history that I'm learning about studying Black history. You know, African American history is deep. You know, and going over to like I found something. My dad, Mike, he sent it to me about a guy named Maya Musa. I believe that was his name, and he was a king in Africa. And when he came through Egypt, he broke their economy because he gave everybody that he passed gold. There was a, a time in that civilization where no one was poor, everyone was rich. Now, eventually, because of your mind, right, that money's going to redistribute in a very similar way. And that's what we see in capitalism, and we don't want to accept right now. Your imagination is free. There's no competition on creativity. You know? And that's the most empowering thing in the world, but we got to teach it to people, man. And we got to teach it to ourselves. And if you don't know anybody around you, like that's why books are so impactful. Like an audiobook is like sitting down, even if you can't read super fast, you go through an audiobook. If you can even just spend 15 minutes, you want to be a basketball player. If you can spend 15 minutes with Kobe Bryant, you can spend 15 minutes with Shaq, you can spend 15 minutes with Michael Jordan. Bro, you are way more valuable than you were 15 minutes ago. You want to learn about money? There's tons of money consciousness out there that exists. Podcasts, books, movies, you know, magazines. Choose what you want. Put it right in your face. Write a goal. Put it in your mind. Put it on your wall. Rehearse that shit. Constantly be feeding that state of consciousness of abundance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and it's kind of counter to like the way that I've expressed it here, because definitely that's a little aggressive, and if someone's not ready for that, that's why I think the wisdom piece of it really is be the example. Be the queen that just walked by. Be the king that just walks by. You know what I mean? Because if somebody was truly abundant, they wouldn't just ask what, it's that whole JFK thing. Don't ask not what this country can do for you, ask what you can do for this country. That is a change of mind. When you see yourself as having something to offer, something to give, you will you will overcome any situation because you're valuable and you know your worth,
Yeah.
and you're just looking for the opportunity. And the opportunity will come to you and you'll be ready for it because you'll recognize it when you're in that state of mind. Otherwise, it just walks by and you go, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Fuck that. Yeah, it is nice. And you have that too. If you want it, you can get it. If you can think it, you can get it. You got it by the time you thought of it. The opportunities may not have played out quite yet, but if you just hold in that faith and that inner knowing, that voice that's like, yo, I can do that. Every time that candle lights up and you can keep that candle burning, you know? You just nourish it. I gotta pee, but I'll be right back.
Do your thing, homie.
Okay. This is a different podcast tonight.
Yeah.
This is something else.
I don't have a whole lot to add to anything he's saying. So I'm just gonna
I
wait for
don't
him to get
either.
back.
We'll be right back momentarily after these breaks. I'm just kidding. So this weather we're having.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. It's like 76 over here.
It's in the 60s today.
Nice. It's getting warm. Oh, man. Can this man hurry up? He's lying. He ain't peeing.
Maybe he's having a hard time. Slow flow, weak flow.
Okay. Where this man at?
I don't know, man.
We are patiently waiting. Oh, there he goes. Okay. You better have washed your hands, you dirty man.
Of course I did.
All right.
But nah, man, I was thinking about it, and it's like, you guys have so much to contribute to, you know? And I know that you guys are gonna like eventually be like, man, Sometimes he be ranting. I want Zack rants. That's what I want. I want Josh rants up in this bitch.
Nah, you
You
don't
know what I
want
mean?
that. You don't want that. Trust me. You don't want that.
Bro, I'm
I,
telling you, everyone has things to offer, and the more you start feeding this motherfucker, more you start feeding these, bro, I'm telling you, that supercharged feeling is just gonna fucking come out. You're gonna be like, bro, I learned this shit, and you're like, oh, I gotta tell the world. I gotta tell the world, or at least my bros. You know what I mean? Because at the end of
or
the day, I love our audience. I love it, you know?
yeah,
And but when we do these podcasts, we do them for ourselves. We do them with each other. You know what I mean? It's just our voices on here right now.
yeah.
Like, how powerful is your voice? How powerful are you willing to let that motherfucker, that beast inside of you? There's a reason why Zach's fucking arms and
That
legs, he's
that
the fucking meat castle for a
you got
reason.
that you got that dog in him. You got
Bro,
that
what Zach
dog.
says to himself all day long is inspiring. It inspired me. I just
Yeah,
fucking
buddy.
watched him. I just watched him
Yeah, Zach. He
and let
watched
him
you.
because bro, I was nervous getting in the gym. Why? Because I was looking at fucking John Grimmick and my grandpa. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know I'm that, but I was
Yeah.
so. How do I get to that? I know I'm that right now. Can't nobody tell me I'm not gonna get to that because I already am it up here. That's my state of awareness. I'm in fucking God mode, bro, and that's what it means, you know? When you really realize the Holy Spirit, you and God are one, He gave you creative power as an extension of Himself. He made you your own little universe inside of your mind. There's a place where you can go to speak to God through your spirit. That spot where you might go to recluse is also the same place where you go for rebirth, to rejoice. You know what I mean? And you got to just allow yourself to have that. Don't let they or them consciousness get in your head. We hear it all on Instagram right now, but bro, that's fucking bullshit, bro. I don't care how successful that person looks. Being a man is more about money, you know? And this is something that I really do want to, you know? Like, don't pigeonhole your prowess, you know? For real, because like it's so much deeper, bro. So much deeper. Everything that you are, everything that makes you attractive. There's so many layers, you know? Allow yourself to get into the sensual realm of smelling good. How do I become mysterious? Where you don't have to use so many words, because y'all can see when I'm talking like this how clunky it is, you know, to try and get your point across. But if you're really listening and you're following and you're reflecting on yourself, there's a version of yourself that if you aren't allowing it out, it's fucking begging to get out, bro. Because you're breathing through a straw. You want that fresh air. Everyone does. But you got to give it to yourself, bro. Like, that, that's some real shit. You guys got crickets on me? Are you guys thinking that's good?
Dude.
Because look, I don't want to get away from this, and we're gonna wrap this podcast because we've been going on and I've been going on. But I got a lot to say tonight. I want to leave with an encouraging thought just for you guys, you know, because both of you guys fucking inspire me. Like, there's a reason why I come on here with so much to say. Like, there's a level of encouragement that you guys believed in me, that I realized I am who I am up here in the flesh right now. You know what I mean? I don't need the 10,000 subscribers. It's already done. Why? Because I'm teaching fucking good. I'm giving you life, son. The same way y'all gave me life. The way that I looked at Zach and me feeling I'm skinny because people told me I'm skinny. Fuck that. I'm beast mode, motherfucker. And time's just gonna reveal that truth. Because all fucking day long, I'm saying shit to me now, my version, discovering my version of what Zack's been saying to himself. And I can see his result. Humble yourself in the sense of be willing to be observant. You know what I mean? Be willing to invest, you know, and invest in yourself. Look at that shit. If it hurts you, why? Right? What do you really want? Who do you really want to be? Because time can go like that. Your heart keeps beating and keeps ticking, but you ain't know how many no fucking ticks are left. You don't know if your dad's gonna leave the house today and fucking hit a telephone pole like my dad did and die. You know what I mean? You don't know if your best friend's gonna get murdered. You don't know if your girl's gonna leave you. Cherish the people that you have. Cherish the time that you have. Cherish yourself. Allow yourself to be present and be the best version of yourself. Not just for yourself, so you can actually fucking be present with someone else and not feel insecure. Not feel like they're dominating, you know? Feel engaged, you know? Because you guys, all the time in our text threads, just bullshitting week to week, you guys make me want to get better. Like, I see that guitar in the background that you got. Guess what? I'm taking guitar lessons.
Guess what? I don't know how to play it.
That's inspiration just waiting to happen, bro. You look at it every day, though.
Yeah, I
It's
do.
a part of it's a part of your awareness.
I kind of know how to play it, actually, just a little bit. But
Yeah, dude. Well, when you decide I play guitar up here, when that's a part of
yeah,
your self-image,
I'm not
when you
there
feed
yet.
that, it's
Yeah.
okay. You're on the way, and that's perfectly fine. You are where you are. Like
Yeah.
that's why I say yoga is so impactful. And shout out to Saraswati Hewitt and Matt Schulman. But Saraswati said something that has always stuck with me. She said, "Yoga meets you where you are every time. Don't matter. Meet yourself where you are, because who you become through that journey. Because you can hear the music, you can hear it. That's why you're inspired by it. You just can't figure out how to get your fingers to do it right now. But the person you become by doing it, the joy is in the journey. It's who you're becoming constantly. Every thought, every moment, you know, every feeling. And it's not always gonna, there's a time like once you really start getting rich, you start looking at everything's worth differently, including yourself. No longer am I gonna push myself so hard that I'm trying to do tomorrow's work today. That's a bad investment. Up here leaves me feeling unfulfilled, like I didn't get shit done, you know? But if you just start going, all right, well, where am I at? What's good enough? And how can I do a little better than that? And whatever you come up with, it might be the craziest fucking plan. It might seem like nonsense. Do that shit. You don't gotta explain it to nobody else. You live the example. You be it. Be the example. That's all the time. You're either rich or you're not all the time. Right here. And life is a process of purifying your consciousness through many experiences. Nobody skates it. In this life or the next life that you come back into a body for, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just stay in the ethers and somehow learn it there a little bit easier. But you will continue to purify your consciousness till you can reach being one with God. You know, accepting that you and God are one. That's what it means, bro. And that's not just a responsibility, it's a beautiful blessing. That's creativity at its finest. That's your imagination. Like, honor that for real. at all costs because you're worth something, bro. And like, bro, I wish people would have told me this shit. But now that I know it, bro, that's why I'm telling it. That's why I'm enthusiastic. I see people fucking drowning. There ain't nobody coming to save them, but I will. Cause I'm gonna keep doing this fucking podcast, come hell or high water, bro. I'm gonna do it. I'm books on the way, already done. I already got one. I printed it out today. You know what I mean? Those that are ready, I might not be everybody's teacher, but I'm anybody's teacher who's willing to fucking invest and, show up. Like right now, this is free fucking gas in the tank. Fuck that. You know? And I guess we'll leave it there. But I'm telling y'all, that's the realest game that people can give you. And it's from the soul, you know? Because I was in a fucking cage my whole life. You know what I mean? But I ain't in a cage no more, bro. I'm free in the wild.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
Don't build yourself another cage. You got to keep eyes on that.
You're an animal.
You know? You got to keep eyes on it, though. Familiar shit, and you got to keep nourishing that rich feeling, whatever makes you feel rich,
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you out here what you need to create, but I guarantee you're going to get you some money because it makes everything else easier. It's a byproduct of this. Money comes because of this. You know what I mean? How else are you going to live the best life that you can? Not just for yourself. It's about other people. How can I influence you guys? What if you're down bad and I'm fucked up? I can't help you out. I'm less virtuous. If I would have took care of my own shit, now you would have been real glad that you knew someone who you could call. You knew someone who has been through some shit that can help you navigate. Now you're a resource, But you got to be resourceful. My back is fucking booming. So I'm back to laying down. That's the longest I've been able to sit upright for a long time. So,
well, congrats on the recovery.
It's yeah.
Glad you're in a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's only getting better. But I tell you what, fuck. Well,